name is Kwabna Chenchahinibo. Many thanks for joining us here on News Today. In our first story is our Greater Accra Regional Minister Nilaya Futagbo has advised the police service to ensure that ethnic affiliations do not prevent them from fulfilling their mandate to protect and serve the citizenry during this year's elections. He also praised logistical support to help assist the police service ensure peace and security. Mr. Nilaya Futagbo said this when the Inspector General of Police, Dr. John Kodalo, paid a courtesy call on him during his Greater Accra Regional tour. My colleague Jennifer Kioma is with the IGP and joins us on the phone with some more. So Jennifer, good afternoon. Many thanks for joining us. Now, what else have the two been discussing?
As you know, the Inspector General of Police has been conducting these nationwide tours to assess the readiness of the police force for the upcoming election. We've met several paramount chiefs across the nation, with Accra being his last stop. As you mentioned, he's spoken to the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Nilaya Futagbo, who has promised support. He's currently at the Ghana Traditional Council, where the Otubehum Manche and acting president of the council, Nidodu Saki II, has praised the police for ensuring relative peace, encouraged them to continue with the good work during the upcoming election, and has also asked for, the recruitment of civilians to act as citizen police in areas where police presence is very thin.
Do you know where the IGP is headed next?
Yeah, from here he's headed to the police training school at Kesano. And he's currently en route, so I'll get back to you with more details when we arrive at the police training school.
Right. Jennifer Kioma, many thanks for that update. And I'll say Jennifer Kioma bringing us a lot more updates on the tour by the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Kodalo. Away from that, let's do some other issues. Well, still with elections, though, and the Electoral Commission has charged political parties to study electoral laws properly to ensure strict accordance or adherence to the rules on election day. Speaking at the launch of a guide for candidates and their agents, EC Chair Charlotte Osei said it was important for party agents to understand the electoral process as well as responsibilities of candidates to ensure that their nomination forms are accepted by the Commission. Meanwhile, we are told that 23 candidates have so far picked nomination forms to contest the presidential slot. 16 are from political parties, while the remaining 7 are independent candidates. In a bit to be speaking to Joseph Akable, who was at a news conference organized by the Electoral Commission a short while ago. He will be joining us with a lot more on that. But away from that, we can move on and do a few more stories. And some unknown thugs have attacked and ransacked the office of the Electoral Commission in Suhum in the Eastern region over the ongoing vote transfer exercise. The thugs reportedly threatened to harm the EC officials if the votes of some persons living outside the constituency are not transferred to that very constituency. Now, according to reports, a printer, a laptop, and other gadgets being used by the Electoral Commission officials were taken away by the unknown persons. Maxwell Kudoko has more. Well, apologies for that. You're unable to bring you that a very sound clip now, but we also told of a similar situation which is currently being reported in Bupe in the northern region. From my correspondent Martina Bugre will also be joining us with a lot more. But you're watching News Today here on the Journey Channel Multi TV. We're taking a break. We'll be back shortly with details of these stories and a lot more. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us here on News Today. Let's now head to the northern region, where we are told that clashes between supporters of the governing National Democratic Congress and the opposition New Patriotic Party have actually compelled the Electoral Commission to halt the voter transfer exercise in Bupe in that very region. Let's get more now from correspondent Martina Bugre, who joins me on phone with the very latest. Martina, good afternoon. Many thanks for joining us. Can you tell us really what the situation is?
The situation currently is calm. Actually, what happened was yesterday there was a mere clash between the NPP and the National Democratic Congress, following the battle of some people to the center to have their vote transferred. I spoke to the EC director, and he says that what happened was that they were brought in, and the MPP protested. The MPP agent was interrogating why they had brought them and said they were not from the district. But he says that it is their responsibility to do that, and so it created some tension. They tried to stop them, but they wouldn't, and so they had to call for reinforcement, and the military and police came in to stop the process, to actually take control of the process. But he in person said they should halt it so that everybody would go home, and then they would resume if tension dies down. And so what happened today was that they have begun the process, and they are actually doing the transfer. They said yesterday they had to do just 15 out of the people who came because of the confusion that almost erupted.
Right. Martina, many thanks for that update. And that was Northern Regional Correspondent Martina Bogre bringing us a lot more on that very developing story. But let's try and get a reaction from the Electoral Commission. And joining me on phone now is Director of Communications for the Commission, Eric Kofi-Jekpasu, who joins us now with some more on this rather worrying situation. Mr. Jekpasu, good afternoon. Many thanks for joining us. Now, this happens to be the second incident you are hearing in as many days, all relating to this very issue of vote transfer. We've heard of the issue at Suhum, and we're now hearing of this situation at Bope, which we are now being told has been sort of rectified. Now, what more is the Commission doing to ensure that there's a smooth flow of this very process?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon. Yes, we have had cases of reported violence at some of our district offices. I think this brings the number to 3. We had a Sinafu South, we have Prepare, and yesterday it was Suhum.
Yeah.
The Commission has notified, in fact, before we even commence any of these exercises, we meet with the district security council, we brief them about the activities, and we call for police security and presence at all the places. And with this new development, we have engaged the police to reinforce security at all our district offices.
For the very situation at Suhum, can you tell us what is being done now? We are told that your workers have abandoned their posts. They say for fear of their lives, they will rather stay home than risk their lives and obviously go do this very exercise. Is that in any way, for instance, going to even affect your plans, the timetable you are going by?
Thank you very much. It will not affect the timetable in the sense that, you know, when it comes to registration, and when it comes to transfers, proxies, special voting, filing of nominations, the time period for all these things are determined by the law. It is cast in law. So once we fix the date and time for these exercises, there is no flexibility or room to somehow adjust it. So we work within the time period. And then talking about the security for our people, once they are threatened and they feel their lives are at stake, naturally self-preservation will have to come in, and they would have to, as it were, abandon posts and wait until such time that they are guaranteed of security, then they can continue with the exercise.
Mr. Jekpasu, it's now been about 18 hours or so since some of your workers decided to abandon their post because of this very incident. What is going to happen to the process, particularly there, for those who want to get their votes transferred to or from that very location? What is to happen?
You see, it's very necessary to suspend this exercise, not because of the safety of only our officials, but for the safety of the very persons who are in the queue, who have come to the district offices to transfer votes, and then for the security and safety of the infrastructure and then the materials that we are using for the process. So it is in the interest of everybody to hold on until such time that we have adequate security, then we can continue with the process.
So when exactly do we plan on resuming that very exercise?
I think the issue is at the local level, it's at Suhum. The district officer is with the police commander there, and it is my expectation, it is our expectation that by the close of day today, they should be able to provide them security to start.
So hopefully by tomorrow, the process is going to resume.
Yeah, to the extent that people are guaranteed their safety, the process must resume.
Okay. Mr. Japasu, many thanks for your time on News Today this afternoon. And Eric Kofi Japasu is Head of Communications at the Electoral Commission, and he's been giving us a bit of an explanation to that very issue in Suhum. But let's go back to Suhum and speak to our correspondent who is on this beat. Maxwell Kudeko is joining me on phone with the very latest as far as this issue is concerned. Maxwell, good afternoon. Many thanks for joining us. Now, when we spoke to you earlier today, you mentioned that the situation was, well, even though it was calm, many of the workers of the Electoral Commission had decided to abandon their posts for fear of their lives. Now, what is the situation now? Has anything changed?
Nothing really has changed. The situation is the same. I am personally at the district office, and then the number of police personnel here to ensure that peace or calm is restored to this place. The head of command, I mean the leader of the police team here is the TB police commander, ASP Peter Oshri. He tells me that they took intelligence this morning that there is a likelihood of a counter attack or a pressure attack here this morning. So they came to ensure that peace is maintained here. So personally, the atmosphere is calm, but officials of the commission maintain that they cannot work because they still don't feel safe. The assistant electoral officer I met here, Mr. Morgan, tells me that just last night, this same tax came to their home, they came to threaten to kill. And so they are even afraid that if they live here and go to their house, the possibility of these guys attacking them or harming them in their home is quite high. So he was asking that the police should do up security both at their workplace and in their home, so that they can have the peace of mind to work and serve the people of Suhum.
Max, let me ask, what has become of the situation relating to the persons who perpetrated this act? Earlier, you told us that there was information to suggest that these known persons who committed this crime were being shielded by, was it the municipal chief executive also?
Yeah, one of the officers told me that they went into hiding, and that they went to the residency of the municipal chief executive, who is also the NDP parliamentary candidate here, and that the police went there to arrest them. But when they got to the residency, the guys had locked the gate, and then they tried or attempted entering, but they couldn't. So that's why they couldn't effect arrest. As of this morning, the Conference Youth Organizer, one Kofi Wayu, had an interaction with a section of the media here, and he apologized profusely for what has happened. And he also called on the EC officials to rescind their decision, and assured them that they were going to talk to the guys to maintain peace or keep the peace here. I'm told that there's personally series of meetings between the security and some leaders of these guys, so that the police can maintain the situation. But as we speak now, there has not been any arrest.
Okay.
The people have identified this part of these guys who perpetrated this crime.
Many thanks for the updates. And Maxwell Kudeko is a reporter with sister station Adom FM. He was reporting live from Suhum, where we are told that workers of the Electoral Commission have decided to abandon their post for fear of their lives. Or the updates as far as that issue is concerned is that the EC is giving us the assurance that once they have the needed protection, they would resume the exercise by tomorrow. We'll bring you a lot more on this in a subsequent bulletins, particularly on our election brief, which is at 2:30 p.m. with Alba Kumsin. Away from that now, let's talk about some other issues, but it will also be in the northern region. And residents of 3 communities in the Tamale South constituency of the northern region are worried about the absence of a wooden bridge that links the communities. The bridge, which was washed away by heavy rains months ago, remains unconstructed. At the moment, residents, including school children, walk on heavy rocks dropped in a gully created by the heavy downpour in order to cross over to either ends of the communities. 4 children have so far lost their lives as they attempted moving from one community to the other. Residents want the bridge fixed immediately to prevent the loss of more lives. Martina Bugwe has more.
Hussein Nabila is a resident of the community. Speaking to Joy News, he indicated that several letters to city authorities and the Member of Parliament for the area to help fix the bridge has not yielded any results.
We are appealing to the authorities, particularly the METO, we have personal written letter to Metro. We also written letter 4th of last month to our MP, that's Haruna Idrisu. And we also written letter to Urban Road, but we are not seeing anything. They have not come in to tell us that they have plans to us. So that's so far what we are going. So we want them to do some bridge and get at least one road that people can cross over from this area, Dunkukuko, to the Bambara side or the Disco side.
School has just closed, and these pupils of the Nahada and Badaira Islamic Primary School have to maneuver through this huge drain each day. The fear is that any of them can be swept away with a miss in the navigation. Watch as this little girl and her sibling are struggling to cross the moving water. Nabila tells me residents fear anytime there is a heavy downpour, as anyone using the bridge can easily lose their lives.
We have lost a lot of lives through this bridge. I don't think one will be elated for that or happy for that. What happened that I can count no less than 4 lives that the community have lost. That's those who have even grown up. And what happened, I recently a pregnant woman lost his child because of that. He couldn't cross over. We couldn't have a vehicle to access. So that's the life that we have lost. But I can count those who have grown up no less than 4. But for pregnant women and those who are suffering, therefore that.
The situation is obviously affecting school activities in these 3 communities. A teacher of Nahada Islamic School, Frank Mawalo, says the situation needs urgent attention.
Actually, it's a difficult thing, but then children coming to school, or to be specific, our children coming to school, only for them to be able to come and then cross how do they call it? At certain time, maybe now the water level is very low, probably they may be able to force their way through, but when the water level get to a certain stage, you will come to find out that they will find it very difficult even to cross. They cannot even cross in the very first place, not for us to be able to even see them in school, for them to, how do they call it, participate in learning. We are still, thinking about how to be able to reach the authorities' concerned so that they will be able to come and help us put the place into a proper shape so that our children will be able to have access to the place and then be able to come to school.
Martina Bugris report for Joy News.
While elsewhere, there were more people, we are told, are benefiting from the several social intervention programs that are currently being implemented by government. In the Volta region, more than 7,000 exercise books have been distributed to students in about 50 basic and senior high schools in the Akachi North District. Now, some 975 students are also said to have benefited from government's free school uniform program. Fred Kwame Asari has more in the following report.
Distribution of the school uniforms forms part of the NDC's Better Ghana agenda to provide free school uniform to pupils in deprived communities across the country. According to the district chief executive, James Gunu, the provision of the school uniform is to ease the burden on poor parents and also motivates the pupils to take keen interest in education. He also indicated that Ghana will see more of these social intervention programs aimed at improving the livelihood of Ghanaians as outlined in the NDC's manifesto.
More teachers are being trained to fill the classroom. We are providing the people so that our 2016 manifesto is a good example. Just like how Moses went into the wilderness and prayed to God for the 10 commandments, so did the leaders of the NDC. And we are given direction from God to streamline the manifesto to aim at the well-being of Ghanaians, facilitate economic growth, transparent government, and rapid infrastructure development.
Alaba Yokodo Miano Kujiba Yaba Dukoplo the Sochi Bantoa Yakuda Amo Pokplotino Miaweba Matopoma Kwatina Ajama Yemiakoboba Eliamiape Ganya Ochofo.
James Kudu mentioned that about 850 residents are benefiting from the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty LEAP program in his district. He added the district assembly has also introduced a local economic development fund to provide traders with soft loans to expand their businesses. He mentioned that the MPP's promise to give $1 million to every constituency and also restoring teacher and nurse trainee allowances. The chief of Avevi, Toby Adelakpi, who spoke on behalf of the beneficiaries, endorsed the NDC government and commended the DCE on his developmental agenda for the district, especially in the education sector.
Previously, when we were in the Akachi district, we lacked development. But after being allocated the district, we have seen much infrastructure improvement, especially in the education sector. Our children now speak good English, and I want to urge us all to ensure we maintain the NDC government so that we can rapidly develop the
Meanwhile, 150 women have been provided soft loans from the Microfinance and Small Loans Center, MASLOC, in the district. The beneficiaries, who were taken through a capacity program on how to effectively manage their businesses, were also given an average of 500 cedis soft loans each. Fred Kwame Asaris reports for Joy News.
Well, away from education, let's return to politics. And the Electoral Commission has charged political parties in the country to study electoral laws properly to ensure strict accordance to the rules on election day. Now, speaking at the launch of a guide for candidates and their agents, EC Chair Charlotte Osei said it was important for party agents to understand the electoral processes as well as responsibilities of candidates to ensure that their nomination forms are accepted by the Commission. Meanwhile, we are told that 23 candidates have so far pegged nomination forms to contest the presidential slot. 16 are from political parties, while the remaining 7 are independent candidates. Well, Joseph Akablé was at that news conference organized by the Electoral Commission a short while ago. He joins me now in studio with the very latest. Joseph, many thanks for joining us. Let's return to this very issue of the EC charging these political parties to, first and foremost, study the laws and be abreast with it so that they will be able to stick strictly to it on election day. What prompted this in the first place? Was there any instance cited by the EC chair, for instance?
Well, the point she has been making is that for a democracy to be indeed a representative government structure that we expect, it is important that polls have to be credible. And she goes on to say that you can't have credible polls when people don't obey the laws. So how do you make people obey the laws? You need to first make them aware of the laws. So it is in line with that vision that the EC has decided to come out with this document. It's a simplified form because it says the CI 94 is a broader document that covers everything that has to do with the election. But these ones are specifics that will be easier, not just for the political party, but also for the general public to be aware of. So on the election day, if you are at a polling station and anything untoward is happening there, you can be able to point that out.
Now, they go on to speak of some other issues, and they give us statistics as to the number of people who have even begun to pick forms, particularly for the presidential race. Can you also give us a lot more statistics as to what the EC chair said?
That is one interesting part, following the increment and the amount.
50,000.
50,000, I mean, from 5,000 in 2012 to 50,000 now.
And we have 23 people picking?
Exactly. And so that came as a bit of a surprise, and the expectation of many was that the number would be quite less, and we have been told that 16 of them are from political parties, with the remaining 7 being independent candidates who want to contest the post. Some of them came around. Ekuya Donko was around. We also had
the Ghana Freedom Party.
Yes, she was around. We also had the Independent People's Party's flag bearer, Kofi Akpali, was also present, and he had wanted an opportunity to talk about the amount, but he wasn't allowed because that wasn't the purpose for the gathering. So it appears some, even though who have picked the form, they still have some concerns with regards to the amount.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens by the close of the month. That's when exactly they're supposed to submit the forms, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so we'll see what happens as the time approaches. But many thanks for that update. And Joseph Akable is our reporter who went for that very media briefing by the Electoral Commission a short while ago. You're still watching News Today here on your Journey channel. Multi TV is also available on your Go TV channel 144 and your DSTV channel 421. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll bring you some business with Emmanuel Abojiriafi. Stay with us.